Alright, what's up, Dragon Brood? We are back for day 2 of previews for Lorwyn. We had a bunch of stuff yesterday, so you want to check that out. That was kind of a long video because they dropped a bunch of stuff. Today, there's some more, not nearly as many, so this should be a little bit faster. And I want to say, yes, I'm aware. There was a leak that came out a couple days ago, which is very disappointing. But I'm trying to stay away from many of those that aren't from approved sources. I try to only talk about cards that have been officially previewed for a whole variety of reasons. But I'll do my best to avoid those. Some of those may slip into the videos because there's just a lot of information out there right now. Anyway, let's get into day 2 of Lorwyn previews. Champion of the Clashin probably is how you pronounce that. But either way, there's a good chance that we're going to have these in every color now that we're starting to see this. So this makes sense. But 3 and a white for a 4/5 Kithkin Knight with Flash. As an additional cost to cast this spell, behold a Kithkin and exile it. So you have to exile one you control or one from your hand. Other Kithkin you control get +1/+1. When this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. Yeah, this is just quality. I like the fact that it has Flash because it becomes like a super combat trick. Not only do you get a 4/5, you get you to pump up your other creatures. So it's going to make combat math very tough if you're afraid of your opponent having this in hand when there's other Kithkin on the battlefield. Pretty sweet card though. And I think I like these champions also for the ability of just protecting a card, right? Sometimes you overcommit to the battlefield because you have to, knowing that a sweeper's coming. But here it's like, okay, I can get a little value, get a bigger body. The other card ultimately goes back to my hand later, so I don't lose it. So there's some fun stuff here, but kind of a sweet card. If there's enough Kithkin to build a deck around, or changelings, this could maybe be playable. Champion of the Weird. 3 and a black. So it looks like so far they all cost 4, 3 and 1 colored mana. So that's interesting. This is a Goblin Berserker. It's a 5/5. As an additional cost to cast it, you have to behold a Goblin. You can pay 1 life, blight 2, meaning you put 2 -1/-1 counters on something you control. Target opponent blights -2 as well. So then they have to put 2 -1/-1s on something they control. You activate this only as a sorcery. When this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Like, it's neat, but I don't know if I like... I mean, I don't know. Blight could... It depends on how good Blight is, right? Like, because you might want to put -1/-1 counters on your stuff. And incidentally, possibly kill off the opponent's things. This is probably better than it feels like, but I think it's because it doesn't feel as immediately obviously good as the Kithkin and Elf that we've seen already. Ajani, Outland Chaperone. 1 white, so 3 mana for a 3 loyalty planeswalker. You can +1, get a 1/1 green and white Kithkin creature token. -2, Ajani deals 4 damage to target tapped creature. Or -8, look at the top X card of your library, where X is your life total. You may put any number of non-land permanent cards with mana value 3 or less from among those on the battlefield, then shuffle. G-bust. Now, admittedly, you got to get from 3 to 8, which is going to take a bit. But if you get there, that is a huge ultimate payoff. But even just making like a 1/1 Kithkin every turn, right? Again, if you're playing a Kithkin deck, then like maybe this is fine. Occasionally you can pick off a creature that's tapped, but not necessarily. So yeah, this is fine. I'm okay, even just for a non-Kithkin just token deck, right? Playing this as another way to generate a token creature every turn is probably more than reasonable. Bristlebane Battler. 1 and a green for a 6/6. Oh, you know there's a downside. If you see a 2 cost, I haven't even read the ability yet. 2 mana, 6/6 Kithkin Soldier. It has Trample, Ward 2. This creature enters with 5 -1/-1 counters on. Okay, I knew there had to be a catch. Because plus you gave it Ward 2 and Trample. Whenever another creature you control enters, while this creature has a -1/-1 counter on it, you remove a counter from this creature. Alright, so it starts as a 2 mana, 1/1 with Trample and Ward, but then every creature you play after that, actually not even play, it's just another creature. So if you're making tokens, that counts too. So for every creature that enters the battlefield on your side, you end up removing a counter. So it becomes a 2/2, then a 3/3, then a 4/4, and so on. This is a really interesting card. Like it's an interesting card because it's kind of like a bad top deck, because you're like, well, I drew this 2 mana 1/1. But it does still have Ward 2. And at some point, the Trample matters. But again, if we're making tokens, you have your Ajani or whatever else. Sometimes you're making 2 or 3 tokens in a turn. You know, this could be fine. I will probably try to build with this. I don't think it's going to be like a standard metagame breaker, but will probably be at least a playable card. Crib Swap is back. If you played old Lorwyn, you remember this card. 2 and a white. It's a Kithkin spell. It's a shapeshifter, I guess is what it counts at. Oh, it didn't count as a Kithkin, it counts as a shapeshifter. Sorry, my bad. The spell does have changeling. Exile target creature. Its controller creates a 1/1 color shapeshifter creature token with changeling. So yeah, just a good removal spell. Just gets rid of a creature, replaces it with a changeling. Could also be used on your side if you need more of a certain type of creature in certain scenarios, or you want to kill your own creature in response to something so you still have an attacker, whatever. So I don't think this is great necessarily, but it is a good situational card and definitely gets played in limited for sure. 4 and a black for a 3/5 menace. Vivid. When this creature enters, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. This is just kind of limited fodder. A lot of times just going to do 2 or 3 damage to your opponent. Nothing too crazy. Flame Braider. 1 and a red for a 2/2 elemental bard. You can tap it, add 2 mana of any combination of colors, spend this mana only to cast elemental spells or activate abilities of elemental sources. Elementals just being a creature type in this set makes this playable, right? The fact that it also gives you 2 mana. So by itself, you play your 3 lands going into turn 3, and this on turn 2, you have access to 5 mana on turn 3, which is pretty wild. And you can use it to actually cast creatures and whatnot. I don't think this is bad. This is one of those ones that isn't going to be crazy because it only really fits in one type of deck, but the deck that wants it kind of really wants it. Lasting Tarfire. 1 in a red. At the beginning of each end step, if you put a counter on a creature this turn, this enchantment deals 2 damage to each opponent. Ooh. This is interesting. At the beginning of each end step, if you put a counter on a creature this turn. Wow. Considering the set also has Blight, and you have a bunch of stuff that already can put +1/+1 counters on things. Ooh. This is an interesting card. I don't know how I feel about this. And it's only 2 mana, so it's fairly easy to set up. Ooh. It only hits opponents, so you can't use it to hit creatures. But I could be in for this card. I could think of some situations where this card could be very good. Like the Gruul, matter of fact, I think just yesterday, we played the Naya +1/+1 tokens deck. This could go in there and just be incidental damage every turn, basically, because so many things put counters on stuff. So yeah, I don't know. This is a wild card. Interesting text to say the least, but I wouldn't be surprised if a deck pops up for a week or two playing this card. Eclipsed Flamekin. We have 1 and 2 Izzet hybrid mana, so 3 mana for a 1/4 elemental scout. When this creature enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an elemental, island, or mountain card from among them. Put it in your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I think if you're playing the elemental deck, you for sure play this. Some number, maybe just 2, maybe 3. And it's a way to just look at extra cards. You're going to likely hit a land or an elemental. And it doesn't even say a basic island or mountain, so any of your fetch lands, or not fetch lands, but shock lands do count. So that's a big deal. Yeah, I think this is playable, but I don't think I would say much more than that. It's just good enough. Collective Inferno, 3 red. It has Convoke. As this enchantment enters, choose a creature type. Double all damage at sources you control the chosen type would deal. This is great. Probably going to get played in Goblins, because they're the ones that tend to make the most small creatures. But there's a few other things that could maybe play this, but I would think Goblins are the lead contender for this type of card. But yeah, everything dealing double damage seems pretty good. Also note that it says you choose a creature type, but some of the spells, being kindred spells, will also count as a goblin, as an elemental, as whatever. So that could matter here as well. Yeah, I want to say that tomorrow and or Thursday we'll probably have a lot more cards to talk about, because a lot of the stuff that was on the leaked, we'll call it the leaked photos, will probably be in the next couple of days worth of previews. There were some I actually purposely saw glimpses of and tried not to read them so I can give you the fair video like I normally do over the next couple days. And if you want to talk about why I don't cover leaks, feel free to hop into my Discord. We seem to talk about it every preview season because at some point something gets leaked, it seems like. But yeah, it's just a business and personal thing, stuff to do with other creators, whatever. But we will cover those cards. So if you do see them and wonder, like, why didn't PowrDragn talk about these cards? Know that it is coming in the next probably 48 hours, because this is only a 1 week preview season that I think ends on either Friday or Saturday. But yeah, that's all I have you for now. We'll see you next time.